Welcome to Business Line's State of the Economy podcast, where you'll find insight, analysis, and the story behind the numbers.
Hello and welcome to Business Line's State of the Economy podcast. I'm your host Ronendra Singh, and today we are going to talk about the automobile sales in the festive period and September month that saw the grand total of all vehicles sold grow by more than 12% year on year to 24,62,428 as compared with 21,86,182. However, passenger vehicle sales continue to see in red, with sales falling down by 1.4% year on year to 3,56,752 during the month, as compared with 3,61,717 in September 2023. The two-wheeler sales, on the other hand, saw a growth of 16% year on year, with sales reaching up to 20,25,993 in September, as against 17,49,794 in the same month last year. Both the scooters as well as motorcycle sales grew by double digits on the yearly basis. To talk about more in detail, we have Shailesh Chandra, President, Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers, who was just taken the position from September onwards. He's also the Managing Director, Tata Motors Passenger Vehicles Limited and Tata Passenger Electric Mobility Limited, which is number one in the passenger vehicles in the electric segment right now. So without any further delay, let's start the conversation. Welcome to Business Line State of the Economy podcast, Shailesh. Just wanted to start with the performance in September for passenger vehicle sales. What's your take on that? And do you think it is because of the high base last year that the sales are still not picking up in the segment?
It's the high base effect. At the same time, it was a mix of some festivity, but also half of the month was the inauspicious period, which is Shraddh. I think both in combination have led to a tepid kind of a demand in the month of September. I think this month should help recover very strongly with a very strong festive month. So that's how I see.
How about in the coming months for the overall year performance? How do you see this segment?
I think it remains speculative, but I would say that the way the first 10 days of the festive period has gone, if you really see the Vahan data for the cars, this has grown about 30-35% as compared to last month.
Okay.
So it is strong. I believe that this quarter should be a high retail quarter, and therefore that should help in allowing quarter 4 to also be, strong from a wholesale perspective. Then.
Okay. How about on the inventory level, where the dealers have been also complaining that there are very high inventory there for around 70-80 days? They are complaining. So,
quarter two, generally you see high inventory levels at the end of the quarter because it is building up supply to maximize the retails in the festive period. It's very normal in a supply-driven situation that you would stock to maximize your retail. We also have been in a situation where we could not stock.
Right.
In the times of COVID, if you remember. Mm-hmm. But therefore, that should help the industry to retail and satisfy all the demand that comes in the festive period. Quarter 3 will be a high retail quarter and a low offtake quarter. So, therefore, typically this is how the cycle goes.
Okay.
So, before the start of the next calendar year, it should come down to the levels where it should be.
Okay. How about in the July-September quarter, where there also the number seems to be very declining, and I think
again, you have seen
2% year on
decline is because of September having this Shraddh period, also because of heavy rains which impacted sales in certain states. You would have seen because of flooding and all which happened. Also, May and June was tepid, because of elections, heat waves and all. So, all in combination, I think, has led to overall H1 being flat and quarter 2 more impacted because of, as I said, the Shraddh period and seasonality that you see.
Okay. The utility vehicle seems to do better in terms of numbers in right now also where others are falling. So do you see that trend also continue going forward?
Yes, that is a structural shift that we have seen in the last 5 years, from say 30% level to 55-56% share of SUVs has been a structural trend that we have seen, structural shift trend that we have seen. And I think that has continued for a long period of time, and also given that all the new launches and the center of gravity of portfolio of all the top manufacturers is shifting towards SUV. That's a natural phenomena to happen.
Okay. How about the entry level segment? Is that also growing, or is there any impact in that also?
There is
because
a
of the
pressure.
rural
There is
demand?
a
Is there any differentiation between rural demand also because of that?
When you say entry segment, I think if you're just mentioning cars, I think it is under pressure because of more action in the SUV side. General personal disposable income of people have grown,
Right.
so they are also going for slightly bigger cars. Median prices of the cars have increased from 6-7 lakh rupees to now 11 lakh.
Okay.
So therefore, people, income has also increased, so they are also shifting and going for more feature-rich, bigger vehicles. So therefore, this is a structural shift, is what I see. There might be also some pressure coming from the used car market, where the supply has been strong,
Okay.
and the median prices are much lower than the median prices of new cars, which is at for used car it would be about 4.5 to 5 lakh.
Is it similar for the two-wheeler industry in terms of entry level segment?
Entry level segment is again under stress. Maybe also because of rural demand. I think agricultural output has been strong. Hopefully, will be strong now with good monsoon that we have seen with the marriage season and all. I see a trend which is more turning to be favorable now for the entry segment. So there, I think we should see some level of uptick. So it is not as as bad as what you see in the cars.
Okay.
Right. But as I said, general trend of personal disposable income being high, people are gravitating towards slightly expensive ones.
But two-wheeler industry seems to be doing better now. I think in September it was 2 million mark already.
That's right.
So do you think it will continue in the coming months?
I think so, because the reasons why it has been growing strongly, nothing changes. It rather gets a booster of the rural economy being now stronger.
Okay.
Right? Q2, if you see, it would have been urban demand which would have really led to the growth. But now with the marriage season coming, with the agricultural output being strong,
Right.
Forecasted to be strong, I think it should be continue to do well.
Okay. How about on the commercial vehicle and three-wheeler segment? Do you think their sales also getting improved, but which didn't seem to be in the current months?
So three-wheeler segment, if you see, in the time of COVID, it had completely tanked, right? And since then, it has been seeing very steep growth rates. And there is some moderation that we have seen, but still it is growing at 6-7%, and replacement demand seems to be the biggest driver. But also, a big fillip to this industry, which is very high on penetration of electric vehicles, is the continuation of the PME drive, which focuses on electric vehicles. So that should also boost the industry, I would say. As far as commercial vehicle segment is concerned, the impact was because of the election and therefore delayed spending on the infrastructure projects. As one big one. Mining activities were also slow, and rains caused a low utilization of the current fleet itself. So that made the segment actually decline in the H1, right, and a steeper decline in Q2 that we saw. But now I think with the back-ended infra spend that we will see, and rural should also do good with agricultural output, so that segment should also do well. The key industry sectors like cement, steel and all should also do well in the H2 with a good forecast of the GDP and all. So I think it has favorable tailwinds which should support a better growth in H2 for commercial vehicle segment, which I think will then make the overall growth flat for the industry, which in H1 has been under decline.
Okay. But talking about PMA drive, there seem to be no, subsidies for the electric vehicles, in a sense, passenger vehicles. So do you see any impact because of that, where already the sales are not picking up for the last few months?
I think it's a very progressive and very well thought through policy.
Okay.
For simple reason that it has not just kept the thinking and concentration around demand incentive, because each sector has a different problem.
Right.
So demand incentives have continued for two-wheelers and three-wheelers, also for buses, it has continued. But if you really see, the key challenge which is ailing the electric four-wheelers is lack of public charging.
Okay.
Yes, of course, the fleet segment has gone. The fleet segment is a small part of the overall demand. Right. So it was important to influence the growth rate for the electric four-vehicle industry. It was important to focus on the charging infra.
Okay.
I think their outlay of 2,000 crore is a big increase in the outlay for charging infra.
Okay.
And targeting about 22,000 chargers is, I think, a progressive policy.
Okay. Lastly, on the exports part, is there any impact because of the Iran-Israel crisis? Although
no early signs as yet, but we'll have to again huddle up with the members to see if there is impact and any support that we would have to seek from the government. But so far, no early warning signs.
No. All right. Thank you, Shailesh.
Thank you.